Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream. I hope we are all doing well. Just want to say I am still eating my breakfast, so hope you don't mind me eating and also drinking throughout this next hour. Lots to talk about in this live stream. We've got the latest news that happened over the last 24 hours, and that was Colton Morris is having a medical at Derby. This is a legit rumour. This is a reporter from the Telegraph reporting this, who I don't often see get anything wrong. So I do think Colton Morris is on the verge of joining Derby. So we'll chat about that. We'll also chat about Owen Dodson, who is the left back at Burnley. Luton are apparently trying to bring him to the football club. We have competition there. And also we will be talking about the latest rumour that appeared on Friday, which was Nathan Lowe, the Stoke City striker. He could be coming to Luton on loan, and could he be the potential Colton Morris replacement? So lots to talk about. I also want to talk about my plan for this live stream before the news that came from Friday and yesterday. I wanted to talk about the upcoming EFL fixtures, because if you didn't know, this next Thursday coming, the fixtures get announced. The League One fixtures get announced. So I want to know which games you guys are excited for. I'm excited for when we play against Wickham, because Matt Bloomfield going against his former club. I'm also excited for the game against Stockport, because I think Hatters v Hatters, I reckon that's going to be a little bit spicy there. And also I think Stockport will be up there come the end of the season. I also think us against Plymouth will be a good game as well, with the way they've recruited so far. Tom Cleverley being their manager. Bolton. And also talk about clubs that we'll be competing with, if hopefully for promotion out of League One. So yeah, lots to pretty much talk to you guys about, while also answer any of your questions throughout this live stream, and also while I'm eating my breakfast. So yeah, it's going to be entertaining. Also, if you hear a dog barking throughout this live stream, it is my dog outside the room. It has social anxiety, so my partner's just started work, so she gets basically a little bit like, where is everyone gone? And obviously I need to shut my door. So she's left on a cooling mat because of the heat. She's all good. She loves to sleep, but she might be barking. Every time she hears a door or any noise, she barks because she thinks, oh my God, someone's leaving me. She doesn't like anyone leaving. So I do apologise if she does interrupt throughout this next hour. So far, she's been good. So fingers crossed, she's going to be all right. The cereal which I'm eating is I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a company called Elite. It's a high protein, high fiber cereal. It's to help me with my diet. And it's basically like, I don't know if I can show you it without the milk. No, I can't. Oh, can you see it? It's like chocolate balls basically. So high fiber, high protein. But it's nice. It is really nice. Helps with my diet. Right, let's answer some of your questions, guys. So, Morris to Derby, is that the right thing to do? Isn't it Derby who have that player who looks like his twin? Forgot his name. Yes, I know exactly who you're going on about. It's like Colton Morris's dad has done a few dodgy things. But yeah, Colton Morris, let's talk about it. This is just my thoughts on it. So, Morris leaving, I didn't expect him to be one of the first to go. When I did my video about who should stay, who should go, I did say in the video that Carlton Morris should leave. I said this on the basis of, I think we need a reset. Relegation, it does stuff to players and to a football club. And sometimes you need to do something. We didn't do much in our first relegation. There was a lack of movement within the squad. We've now got back-to-back. So more movement needs to happen. You need to get rid of what looks like a losing culture. And Matt Bloomfield, he deserves the opportunity at bringing his own players to the football club. So if that means he needs to bring in a striker in who suits the way he wants to play, then he should be allowed to do so. And Morris, I don't actually think suits the way Matt Bloomfield wants to play. So I do believe we need to bring in a striker. The striker department needs to be looked at, because Elijah, we can't sell him. Woodrow, there's a lack of interest there, as we already know. Nordas has only recently signed. Brown as well. who I don't see has much interest due to him being injury prone over the last 2 years. So out of all of our strikers, Morris is the most likely one to sell because he's actually managed to keep himself fit. He's scored goals throughout his 3 years. So it does kind of make sense for Morris out of all the strikers to leave. Am I disappointed? No. Do I think it's the right decision? Yes. Look, Morris, he works so hard for the club. He does care. I believe he does. But last season, in particular, we went through games with him not having a shot at goal. And that's meant to be our star striker. And we did create chances last year. I actually had a look at the stats. And in terms of big chances created, we were actually 13th in the Championship, which is mid-table. And the team that won promotion to the Premier League in Sunderland only created one big chance more than us. So they were just more clinical than us. And we did get chances. Elijah did miss majority of them, but we did create big chances. So we can't just say, oh, Morris didn't have any chances for him to score. I think he did, but he just wasn't in the box often. And a lot of times I was getting frustrated when watching him play because he weren't in the box often. We were whipping a decent ball into the box and yeah, he's nowhere to be seen. And that's what really, really frustrated me. But if you put that to one side, what he does, for the team in terms of winning loads of aerial battles, it's amazing what he does. The amount of aerial battles he does win. But I do feel like sometimes we lack ideas and then we just lump it to Morris and hope he wins it. And that happened quite a lot last year, and it made the game so boring to watch at times. And it didn't just happen once, it happened more than one occasion. So I just think this transfer with Morris, for what we've paid, we've definitely got our money's worth. 20 goals in the Championship in his first season, and then the Premier League year, double figures in the Premier League, and then obviously last season, just under 10 goals. So I think overall, good, a good 3 years. But I think we've come to this point now, after what happened last year, it was definitely unacceptable. And yeah, we need someone to come in to freshen it up. And to get some money back from Derby as well, I don't think it's bad business. Morris to Derby needed to happen. Very disappointing season for someone who got 20 goals last time in the Championship. Yeah, I do agree. Also, Tyler, you've put in the chat, Doughty to Middlesbrough. I think that's just the rumours just come about because Edwards is going to Middlesbrough. That's basically how it's all started. I don't think there's anything legit in it. I think people have just put two and two together, and yeah, like Doughty is. I think a lot of Luton players are going to be rumoured to be going to Borough, and hopefully Edwards does take a few with him. That would be nice. Emma, you're looking forward to playing Northampton and Huddersfield in League One when the fixtures do get announced. Those are the fixtures you are looking forward to. Roy, you've put, I'm happy he has gone. We need someone new up front. Where's all my messages gone? There we go. Any away game up north of Stoke, I'll be there. Very nice. Should we focus on the youth next season? I do believe the cup competition between League One and League Two clubs, the old Checker Trade Trophy, the Johnson Paint Trophy, that cup competition will give our youngsters an opportunity. It will give them an opportunity to break into the first team. I do think we'll see a couple of them in this upcoming year. Morris did good for Luton, but glad he is leaving. I was getting a bit fed up with him going to ground and crying to the ref. That also was a little bit frustrating. Mick, you've put, I will be sad to see him go. Terry, you've put Elijah working out in the gym, so might not be out that long. I still think he'll miss the first part of the upcoming year. He might be back before the end of the year, but I still think he's got still a long way to go. I'll be very shocked if he's back in August. Very, very shocked, especially with an ACL injury. Doughty wasn't the same after he came back, so I won't be bothered if he goes. In fact, with Doughty, we would get so much money if he does leave, because he signed recently a long-term contract. Do I think he will leave the football club? I think it depends what club come in for him. I think he's more of a style, Doughty is. I think he only suits a certain way of playing, which for me worries me a little bit, because I don't know what the system's going to be next year. Until we get more movement in terms of, players coming in and players leaving the football club, I don't know what type of style of football Matt Bloomfield is going to play. Would he keep the same as last year? Will he change it? I'm hoping he does change it. But right now, I think if he was to say, right, we're playing our first game of the season tomorrow, I think we're playing the same way like we did last season. Will Teddy legit sign for Burnley? I hope he leaves. Fingers crossed. I think he's the one with his attitude absolutely stinks. And I think it's the people he surrounds himself with. He still talks to a few Manchester United players, still a few Premier League players. And, different mentality. Some players just don't really care. Morris leaving. Yes, it pretty much looks like he is going to be leaving to Derby. Hopefully we'll see a lot more of Joshua Phillips next year. I think we will, actually. I think if we don't see many youngsters play in the first 6 months, I think the second 6 months, they will go out on loan. Gone quiet on Thomas Kaminski. Maybe news this week. I actually think, I said this in my last live stream last week. I'm expecting movement, and I'm expecting it next week as well. I think, I don't know if players report back to the club next week. So we might see a lot of movement. And also a lot of contracts end on the 30th of June. So yeah, I expect a lot of movement to happen over the next 2 weeks. Because we would like to bring in players before we go out to Slovenia. Nordas and Fanny leaving as well. Again, they were just rumours, reported rumours. So still not sure on that. There was definitely interest there from from different parties. But as we've only recently signed those two players, we definitely would want our money back for them. Ross, you've put... is his twin still at Derby? Nice to get the family back together. Yes, his twin is still at Derby. That's going to be funny for all the Derby fans picking out which one is that. Is it Morris or is it the other one? I'm not tolerating the Morris disrespect on social media from people. One bad season doesn't erase all he did for us. I need to understand. This might be me the way I'm looking at it. Whenever there's about a player talking about leaving the football club, I think people are just honest on how they feel. They don't do this in a disrespectful way or slagging someone off. They just go, I think it's the right time for Morris to leave, or they go, I think what happened last year, I think, we need to freshen it up in the attack, so Morris leaving is the right decision. Whatever that is. And then all of a sudden, you get like a bunch of Luton fans go on social media and go, I can't believe the disrespect Morris is getting. And I look at online and I'm looking for these comments and I'm like, who is disrespecting him? No one's disrespecting him. People are just being honest with their thoughts. And people are just saying like, what happened last year, his performances weren't good enough. And they weren't good enough. And that's the truth. Last season was unacceptable. I think people need to get that in their head. And what I find funny is, it's also the same people who are moaning about, people slagging off players, are the same ones that slag off our CEO in Gary Sweet, despite Gary Sweet has so much more credit than a lot of them. So I find it mad. I just don't get certain way people are. And I think people oversell certain words like hate and disrespect when people are not being hateful, disrespectful. They're just saying how they feel in a really respectful way and just saying it how it is. I think people get confused with those two aspects. I've not seen barely any disrespectful comments about Morris. So, that's just my little rant on that. Doughty for £10 million. I don't know if we get 10 million for him. I really don't know for League One. I definitely think we get over 5 million. I don't know if we get 10 million. Will Chong stay? Hope not. I said so many nice things about Chong before the championship season started, and I weren't I was very disappointed with myself that I believed in him because I thought he was going to rip the championship apart last year, and I was so wrong. Nordas apparently wants to go, so he can go. Again, Mick, you said an important word there. Apparently, we don't know 100% here. Tyler, you've put believe players are back on Monday, so expect more news then. Yeah, I'm expecting that too. Ali working out all summer. Doughty, Menji, and Chong still on holiday. Menji's still. Menji's been doing a lot of training, so he's on holiday, but he's training. But Ali, I've seen working really hard. Ali, I think is going to hit the ground running this upcoming League One season. I think he's ready. He's got one objective, and he wants to hit it. I hope Luton should play the academy because it's the right level for my cousin to start playing. His name is called Jack Bateson. Oh, very nice. Players back tomorrow. Okay, yeah, so players are definitely back next week. Lee, you've put well said, Lewis, about Morris. Thank you very much. Honestly, I want to keep Alfie. His crosses and passes are too perfect to let go. The way he's played through injury in the last game of the season was vital. But was unacceptable. I thought, yeah, Morris playing through certain games injured, I think actually let the team down. Not in a selfish way. I understand why he's playing through the injury. But against West Brom, that last game of the season was terrible. That was one of the worst I've seen from him. He just couldn't move. And you might as well have started with a fit striker and Nordas. And I think Bloomfield just believed in Morris that he could do the job. Sorry, I missed the start. Derby fan here. Opinion on Colton Morris. I'm sure I'll be saying this quite a lot, so don't worry. So Colton Morris, look, good striker. So I'm not saying he isn't a good striker. Very good striker for Championship, and I think for Derby he would do very well. I think under the Derby boss, I think the Derby boss would get the best out of him. I think if you keep him in between the goalposts and keep him in the box, that's when he's at his most lethal. I think he tries too much at times, and I think that lets him down quite a bit. He wins an awful lot in the air. He doesn't make defenders have an easy day. But last year, the performances weren't great. His performances with the others, and that's very important, with the other players around him, as a collective, contributed to us receiving a unexpected relegation. And for that reason, we now need to have a big reset at the football club. He's got high wages, which I think also plays a massive part in this, because if he was one of the lowest, earners in the squad, I don't think we would be getting rid of him. He's at a certain age in his career where he wants to be playing at the highest level possible. So I can understand why him personally would want to go and play in the second tier. Derby, bigger club as well, bigger fan base. So there's a lot of boxes to be ticked here for Colton Morris if he, wants to leave the football club to go to Derby. But yeah, I think for them it's a good signing. If Derby want to get top half Championship next season, he's he's a perfect player to do that. He has scored goals at the Championship. He's scored 20 goals at the level, so there is potential there. But you've got to just keep him in between the goalposts, and yeah, he can do what he needs to do, and yeah, have an impact. Luton fans still respect players from the 80s who had a relegation. Yeah, I understand that, but I think the players from the 80s have a lot more credit, and every single year performed above expectations. From what I've read and from what I've seen, that Luton team from the 80s was something else. A team that went on to do unbelievable things for many years in the top division and also won a trophy. So, which is our only major honour we've received in the club's history. No, I did see a few people calling him overweight, waste of space. It's too much people. We're definitely saying that stuff. Agree on the sweet point. Okay, fair enough. I've barely seen many comments. I've seen the odd comment saying he's overweight. He isn't overweight because if he took his top off, you see the muscle underneath it. So yeah, he's definitely not overweight. He had to change his game a little bit last year. He became very more of a target man, but he definitely looked like he's lost a yard of pace over the last 12 months. Don't know what it is from the Premier League season because he was a lot fitter. But yeah, definitely massively changed from Premier League to the Championship. Morris is an honest professional and knows his standards slipped massively last season, along with most of our team. Time for him to go. He knows it. We know it. Yeah, I can understand exactly. Yeah, I agree with that comment. Morning, Lewis. As you know, I do a 6-hour round trip to home games. Morris, Menji. So, sorry, I'm trying to read your comment here. Morning, Lewis. As you know, I do a 6-hour round trip to home games. Morris, Menji, can't do another season. No heart or drive. Yeah. Well, I don't know if Morris... I think Morris does have a bit of heart, but yeah, Menji definitely doesn't, in my opinion. Ali will be our main man for next season, just hoping he doesn't get played out of position or gets messed around like Edwards did with our players. I think he'll play out wide or as a striker. Right, guys, I'm just going to quickly go outside because I've heard a lot of noise and I don't know if the dog is jumping up and trying to get something she shouldn't be getting from the kitchen. So I'll be right back. You might hear me. Callie, what are you doing? You making noise? You coming in? Do you want to say hello to everyone in the chat? Come in. Come in. Right, say hello to everyone. I know you want to kiss me. Right. Don't ask me what breed she is because I don't know. This is my partner's dog. Say hello to everyone. Say hello. She might stay here for a bit. She might not. I don't know. But anyway. Right, perfect starting 11 for Luton next season. You got Jack Walton. You got Cal Naismith. You wanting to get down? You want to go? Okay, be good. So, perfect starting 11 for Luton next year. Walton, Cal Naismith, Mark McGuinness, Christ Makosso, Hashioka, Saville, Liam Walsh, Alfred Doughty, Jordan Clark, Ali, Elijah Adebayo. I don't know with that starting 11. I really don't know. Because I don't know if Alfie can do the left winger job. And I also don't think Elijah, I don't know about him. On his day, he can do it. But he just lacks so much confidence. And also, I think Hashi might be leaving as well. Hashi might be, yeah. There's been interest from Hashi. Apparently, there's interest in Baptiste, apparently. I don't know how true that is. I really don't. But apparently, Paul Smith and Oxford. I really don't know how those rumours have come about. Why would you want to play that's constantly injury prone? Have you been looking at the Club World Cup at all? If I'm being honest with you, Danny, no. Really, for me, it only gets interesting when it gets to the latter rounds. Like for Bayern Munich to win 10-0 against Auckland. Like, I feel sorry for Auckland. Like, how can you compete with that? You just can't. Walsh, Clark and Asgard with Jones would be an outstanding midfield in League One. I don't understand why Morris stopped shooting on sight. Remember this year we got promoted. Morris scored about 5 goals from just levering the ball from whenever he was stood outside the box. Exactly. Don't understand why he stopped shooting. And he would go games without having a shot at goal. And that's why that was, for me, a massive concern. And I raised that quite often in my videos. And the fact he only scored 1 goal in 2025, it is a concern. Like, we're not lying when we say this. I have a pet cat. I have 3 pet cats. I'm not a cat person. I'll be brutally honest with you guys. More of a dog. Not a fan of cats. Lewis, who is a Derby fan, has asked, would I believe Morris would be a good signing for Derby? Yes. We've already spoken about Morris quite a few times in this live stream, but yeah, I do think he would be a good signing for Derby. I think for both parties, and Morris and for the football club, we kind of need a reset. So it makes sense, the move to happen. Out of all of our strikers, he's more likely to leave due to certain circumstances, with some of our strikers being injured and also recently signed and also not being very good. He's the one that can leave quite easily. He's proven in the Championship. He will score goals if he stays in between the goalposts. I think under Derby's manager, I think he would be very good. He doesn't make Championship defenders have an easy day. But yeah, I think at his time, at his very best, he's really good. But there were times last year where he just wasn't good enough. His performances, and I think Morris himself would also admit this. I think he would say that he didn't have a good year. He went like games without having a shot at goal, and that's what really frustrated myself and a few others as well. But yeah, look, I think overall good signing. He is good in front of goals. He can be lethal when he gets given those chances, but you need to just keep him in the box. I think at times he tries to do too much when he doesn't need to, and he wins quite a lot in the air as well. So yeah, I think he'd be a really good signing for Derby. I can't see us managing to keep hold of Asgard, unfortunately. But to be fair, Lee, if Asgard's going to leave, you're looking at over £5 million for him, because we recently bought him for £3 million. We're going to want to make profit on him. He's only recently signed a long-term contract, so we're going to make decent money if he does go. So we have to just deal with it if it does happen. But I just don't see many clubs offering that sort of money. Lewis, at his best, Morris was outstanding. He may be good for you or a flop. Time will tell. He was good, but I just think last season was a massive letdown. And that's just the way I look at it. And because we've suffered relegation, we now have to move players along. If we stayed up last season in the Championship, I would have said keep Morris. But because we've now got relegated, I'm now saying we need to get rid. If he does stay, and I can't see him staying now with the rumours, with the reports, he would be one of the best strikers in League One, for sure. But I just feel like we need to freshen up top. We need to have a look at the attacking options, because we lacked goals last year. If we lose Asgard, do you think we'll look to sign another attacking midfielder or just give Clark that role? I think we'll sign another attacking midfielder for sure. I'm hoping Asgard stays. I think he will. Asgard's under contract, wants £6 million at least. What youngsters do you think will come through to the first team? Well, I think Zach Nelson and Joe Johnson will get a lot more minutes under their belt. I think Phillips and also Jaden Luca will get a lot more minutes as well. Those two are the next ones, in my opinion, that might get into the first team. And I'd be interested to know about Ollie Lynch, because he has signed a new contract recently, and from the sounds of things, people at the football club rank him very highly. So he's also another one that might break into the first team in this upcoming year. Had a very good loan spell with Hemel. Need to keep an eye on Morris throughout the season to see how he does at Derby. I wish him well. I watch Championship football anyway, so and Derby will have a load of games on Sky, so I'm sure we'll see him scoring goals as he does, But what I find really funny is people, when they start seeing him score goals, people will go, we should have never got rid of him. He's scoring goals, but sometimes it's a little bit out of control. We don't know what's actually happened behind the scenes. Morris might have gone to the football club and gone, actually, I want to leave. We honestly just don't know. So, and that conversation could have happened. So, it's always worth trying to think of all these different perspectives when players do actually move on. Do I rate Joe Johnson? He's not really impressed me so far. I think he's been thrown in the deep end too often for my liking. If you compare what James Justin did, he was thrown in the deep end and then he adapted extremely well to it. And then he just kept performing. But Joe Johnson, he's come in, he's come out, he's come in, he's come out. He's done he's had the odd good game. I think he's got a lot of learning to do, and I think in the Championship last year he didn't really have any guidance. Now with Cal Naismith in the team, I think Cal Naismith will guide Joe Johnson. So if we are going to play 3 centre halves at the back with the 2 wing backs, and Joe Johnson is the wing back or the centre half, I think someone like Cal Naismith will be able to help him, like what Cal Naismith did with Christ Makosso. So I think that could work extremely well. But I think it is too early to properly judge him. I think if he's getting called up for England, there must be something good about him. He must have more to offer. As you know, bad players don't often get called up for England. So yeah, I think time will tell. More development and more game time. I like the reviews of Nathan Lowe. Interesting loan deal. Yeah, I let myself down on that video. I said he was a small striker. Nathan Lowe's not a small striker, and I don't know where I got that from. I looked up the pictures of him when I was doing my research. I have seen your couple of goals from him, but then he looked really, really small, like me. I thought he was a small striker like myself. Turns out he's 6'3". I don't know where I got it from. All the knee sliding, celebration pictures I was looking at, he looked very small. He's 6'3". I can't believe I got that wrong and I said that on the video. That was a stupid moment from myself. But Nathan Lowe, if we could bring him to the club, I'd be very happy. Very, very happy indeed. But my only concern would be with Nathan Lowe is after what he did with in League 2 with Walsall, where he got 22 goal contributions in 24 games, Stoke recalled him back in the January window. Will they do the same thing in League 1 if he's ripping it apart? How many goals do you think Ali will score this season? I'm going to go with 20. I'm going to go big. I think he's going to rip it apart. I really do. I really think he's going to rip it apart. As we're halfway through the live stream, guys, can we please smash the like button on the live stream? I know I say this a lot, but it really does help the video perform better on YouTube. And also, this live stream does get put out as a full video once it's over and done with. And then that video is available to everyone else. And that makes the video perform even better when people like it and stuff. So please smash that like button for me, guys. It does help the video out. And if you are new, please subscribe. EFL Luton content. I do appreciate it. I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I think we are going to do it. Hopefully we can do it before the season starts. That'd be great. And then how many subscribers can we hit from then to the end of the season? So hopefully I want to hit 6,000 if possible, but we have to wait and see. But I am trying my best to upload as much content as possible. But when it's this hot outside, it is so difficult to record videos. I'm already sweating recording this live stream. It's grim. It's sticky. I don't like it. I don't have air conditioning. And if you do have air conditioning in your house, then you are rich. But wow, it is very hot in this room. In the living room, it's so cool in there, in my living room. But in here, it is so hot. And it's my gaming room as well, so I like, to game, but it's too hot. How will we play next season? Will it be as important as who we have in the squad? Will managers switch formation regularly depending on opposition or state of games? I think Matt Bloomfield will try and do what he did at Wycombe. So at home games with Wycombe, he played a 4-2-3-1 formation. It scored a lot of goals for them. And then away from home, Matt Bloomfield changed the formation to a 4-1-4-1 formation. And Wycombe, at the time he left the football club, had the best away record in the league. So he is tactically adaptable. And as we've already seen so far, he wanted to play his formation when he first arrived. It didn't work because he didn't have the players to do it. He resulted back to what we were doing under Rob Edwards, but he tweaked it. So Bloomfield, for me, is a more tactically adaptable manager than Rob Edwards, and we've already seen that. But the one thing for sure is, and that what I want for the first game of the season, I want my players fit. I want the players to be fit and ready to go. So fingers crossed that is the case. I am going to every pre-season game. I'm going to Southend. I'm going to Gillingham. I'm going to Boreham Wood. And I'm also going to Tottenham at home. So if you see me, say hello. I don't bite. I'm really awkward in person. And that I get a lot of people come up to me and go, I watch your videos. And I just say thank you because I don't know what else to say. So feel free to ask me a question if you see me in person. I don't bite, I promise. I'm going to be with my partner for 2 of the games. She's absolutely delighted that she's going to go to Southend and also Gillingham. It's a shame we're not going to be in the temporary, well, I say temporary stand. It's been a stand for about over 11 years. But the scaffolding stand at Gillingham, we're actually going to be placed along the side in the ground. But yeah, I am going to Gillingham. I've already bought my tickets for that. That's a new ground for me because I've never been there before. I've been to Southend and I've also been to Bournemouth, but it's been a long time. So I thought, oh, I'll re-go back there. And it's not exactly far. And then, yeah, Tottenham at home. I will be there sitting in my season ticket position. But yeah, it's not terrible pre-season. Could it be better? Yeah. We are playing a game in Slovenia as well. We're playing against the Croatian side. Is it Dynamo? They play in Europe, so that will be a really good test. And Dynamo, because they're playing in European competition, they start their pre-season now. And their last game is our first game of pre-season. So we are going to be, chasing shadows, that's for sure, in that game. But hopefully that game gets put on a live stream so I can watch it and then give you a match reaction. My plan, in fact, actually, for these pre-season games is to give you a match preview, to give you a match reaction for them. And then we can talk about it in a live stream as well. That's my plan. And I think it's important to talk about pre-season. Normally I kind of dismiss pre-season and don't talk about it in much detail, but I think it's, I should take most of the opportunity and actually do it and talk about it, because we might see a few things in pre-season that we like, and if we compare that to last year, it was awful last year, and I didn't really talk about it in too much detail, but I weren't happy, and I probably should have been a bit more vocal at the time and talk about, actually, I've got a few concerns here, because, yeah, I don't know what happened last year under Rob Edwards. The players just weren't fit, was there? And then you look at Rob Edwards, he's going to get the Borough job. He's getting the Middlesbrough job. How does he get that job? I don't know how he's managed to talk his way into getting it, but apparently he's friends with the owner, so that does help. But yeah, football's crazy at times, isn't it? Roy, I don't understand your question which you put in the chat. Last season we couldn't defend and couldn't score. Our team needs a complete overhaul. Yeah, I agree, Nick, and hopefully we'll start seeing it, but we need clubs to buy our players. And I think we're also being tough negotiators as well, because we definitely want some money back, which we have in our every right to do so, but hopefully we start seeing some players. And when players do leave, I will make a video on it. So with the Colton Morris thing, I will make a video on it. When it does get made official, I'll look at the quotes he's put in the Derby media team, because he might drop one or two things in the quotes. He might have actually said, actually, I wanted to go in those quotes. So yeah, I can talk about it as well. Jelly Belly, 86 people watching, but only 26 likes. Come on, guys, smash that like button for me, please. It does help the video perform better. And yeah, we can proper grow this channel. One day I would like to do this on a full-time basis if I can. And I do have really good plans if I can make this a part-time and full-time job. But right now, it's just, I'm a little bit, I'm some distance away. I'm also on TikTok. The link is also in the description below. I need to make more TikToks. My aim is to try and do 3 a day. Tyler, I don't know if you're still in the chat watching, but I don't know how you do it. I see your TikToks all the time. Sorry if this has already been answered. I've only just joined the live stream, but do you think we will get Nathan Lowe, or do you think he'll go Huddersfield or Stockport? I think Stockport will be our biggest rivals in that. Huddersfield have got Joe Taylor, so I don't see why they would want another striker that could take Joe Taylor's position, unless they are going to go big man, little man. Because Nathan Lowe, as I've found out recently, is 6'3", and Taylor is a small striker. So they might be doing that. Huddersfield, they've started so well with their recruitment. But hopefully we can get him. I do believe we are an attractive club, despite the relegations. I think we are going to be competing for promotion. I do think we can offer a decent wage as well. So, yeah, fingers crossed. Everything's all good. Right, this question here. How did you manage to grow as a channel? Any key moments that boosted your YouTube channel? So I started off making like just FIFA videos back when FIFA was actually fun to play. It didn't do too well. I was getting very, very small numbers. And then I did some football challenge videos like Chris MD. They were awful because I couldn't play football. And then what happened was I went to a Luton game. Well, I watched a couple of content creators do vlogs. Someone called Spencer Owen, who is the owner of #United. He was doing West Ham vlogs at the time, which was quite new. Not many people were doing it. And no one was doing vlogs about Luton. So I thought, oh, I'll start vlogging. And the first game I did was Bristol Rovers versus Luton. I think Bristol Rovers beat us 2-0 that day. That was on New Year's Day. And a couple of weeks later, we actually hired Nathan Jones. But I did that match vlog. I uploaded it to YouTube. And it became quite quickly my biggest viewed video, pretty much, at the time. So I was like, oh my God, people like this. And loads of subscribers came. And then, yeah, I just carried on doing what I did. And then I had a couple of vlogs that actually did way better, way beyond expectation. And then, yeah, loads of subscribers came from these vlogs. What helps is when other fans also share the video to their fan base, because then that gives them more views. And then over time, just being consistent, uploading more and more each season. And then during the COVID year, I grew quite a bit because I was making more videos. I was able to watch every single game as it was behind iFollow. So that helped the channel. Moving to the Championship also helped the channel as well, because you're making videos about bigger clubs, so more, bigger supporter fan bases are coming to the channel. Premier League season, Championship again. So yeah, loads of subscribers all came from that. But now I'm at a decent point where I've got a decent number of subscribers. League One, new audience. We haven't been in League One in a long time, so I could attract even more numbers. So fingers crossed I can do that. And also, I think some of my opinions are controversial at times. So I think that helps, because people want to hear what I've got to say. And yeah. But it's not me that says my opinions are controversial. I think people tell me I have controversial opinions, but I just say what I think. I'm quite honest. I just say how it is, how I truly feel. I don't, jump on any bandwagons like some people do, not naming names. But yeah. And then that's how I've grown to where I am today. I've smashed the like button. Thank you, Mick. Like button above the live chat can be a bit hidden on a phone. I think if you so if you're watching it on the phone, hang on, I can show you how to do it. So if you're watching it on the phone, if you're doing it, can you see that? You can then just, if you just come out of it, make it small screen, and then you can just press the like button like that. That's one way to do it off the phone. I think it is the right time to let Morris go. I thank him for what he's done, but we're starting to rebuild under Matt. Also would love Nathan Lowe, but think he would go Huddersfield. I think more Stockport, me. I think Stockport are the bigger competition between us and Nathan Lowe. Do you ever get asked to do brand deals? Yes, and I've turned down lots of brand deals. I've never seen a sponsored video from you. Could help make it a part-time job. Yeah, I've actually turned down like thousands and thousands of pounds worth of money from brand deals, because they are gambling, and I would be a massive hypocrite to accept gambling sponsorship. A lot of my audience is under the age of 18, so I don't feel comfortable in promoting gambling to an under 18 audience. And also Luton, as a football club, we have a stance on not promoting gambling. So I would be a massive hypocrite if I did it. And I have turned down, and I mean an awful lot of money to not do those sponsorships. Do I regret it? No, I don't. But I believe I'm doing the right thing. So yeah, if the right brand deal does come about, I will do it. I used to do a brand deal with OneFootball, but that was years ago. And also, I did do a couple back, like, I'm talking about over 3 years ago, at least over 3 years ago, where you get like you share a link. So you promote something, you share a link, and not many people were clicking on the link. So it does, I need also the audience who is watching me to also take part in it. So if you're promoting an app and you're using, use my sign up link, if people are not using that link, then you're not going to get any money in return or anything like that, any investment. So I rather do like a sponsorship where I'm actually, one, the sponsorship makes sense, so no one has to click any link, and maybe I just offer a discount code for something, rather than actually, yeah, I want to be paid. What I'm trying to say is I want to be paid for actually, if I'm going to do a sponsored video, to actually to actually advertise the product, rather than only getting paid if people click on a link, is basically what I'm trying to say, because you're then not in control. You know, you're relying on hundreds and hundreds of people to click a link, which they might not click. So yeah, and then you're wasting a video, wasting 30 seconds to a minute off a video, advertising a product or service, and you're not going to get anything in return unless people click a link, and that's not fair. That's just how I look at it. Will Adebayo be over his injury? I don't think so before the start of the year, but I do think he'll be back by the end of the year. It would really annoy me if we brought a manager in because he was friends with Gary, so Middlesbrough fans are going to be angry if he fails. Yeah, I can understand that, Mark. Yeah, I think Borough fans they're a bit surprised that they've gone for Rob Edwards. They think there are better options out there, and I also agree with that. You know, the likes of Cooper are out there, O'Neill. I'm surprised they're not interested in the job. Also, Ruben Sellers was available before he went to Sheffield United. And also, people like the Sheffield Wednesday manager, they're also available as well. I just think there were plenty better options than Rob Edwards. The under-19s, there is one guy, Elliot, and he wants to play more England. What? The under-19s, there is one guy called Elliot, and he wants to play more. England beat Spain last night 2-1 in the under. I think it was 3-1 in the end in the under-21s. Would love Luton to take younger players, but their younger players, the under-21s, are all like Premier League stars, so we won't be getting that. Danny, you've put in the chat, first video of yours I've watched was the 3-1 win against Oxford when we won League One. That was years ago. Well, you're looking at over like 7-8 years ago there. Ian, you've put, don't get the hate for Morris, being a great servant, little to no service last year, new direction for both, all good. I don't think he had little service, Ian, because I mentioned this earlier, we were like mid-table in terms of big chances created, so we did create chances, and then Sunderland, by the way, got promoted by only creating one big chance more than us, so they were just more clinical in front of goal. So we just weren't clinical, but at the same time, when you look at the chances we were creating and look where Morris was positioned on the pitch, a lot of times he wasn't actually in the box, or he's not available in the right place at the right time. Like, look how bad Elijah's season was last year. He had a lot of missed chances, but he was in the right positions all the time. And if that was Morris instead of Elijah, I do think we would have scored a lot more goals. But I think it's a mix of both, I think. I think at times, yeah, the service was poor, but also I don't think Morris helped himself out. Heard enough of Colton Morris, guys. Move on. We have to talk about him. There's Derby fans in the chat who want to know. Also, people have joined in and out of the live stream, which I do understand. So we do have to talk about. I try my best not to repeat myself. Not going to lie, if Asgard leaves, then Cameron McGeehan is the perfect replacement. He had a great season with Northampton last season, scoring 10 goals and having 5 assists in 40 League One games. I don't think Luton will go back in for Cameron McGeehan, but I do like him. That'd be interesting to see him play for Northampton against us next season. When will the flaws in Rob Edwards start to show at Borough? Potentially right at the start. If the Borough players are not fit for the season, there's straight away one flaw. And also, he needs to build a squad, I believe. He needs to bring in players, and I think his recruitment going to be good in the first part of the season? I will be keeping an eye on them because, just to see if we made a mistake or just whatever happened, because it was a mad season, mad season last year, and I couldn't believe what happened. Would you be happy if Adebayo went? I would not. The chances he missed last year was bad. Getting fit and get gone. I think Elijah, I can't see him leaving until January, if I'm being honest with you. I think in League One he will score goals. He needs to get over this confidence thing with him. He's the biggest confidence player I've ever met or ever known. I've never known a striker to constantly get chances but keep missing and then let himself down. Ron, you've put the pre-season video put out by the club last year showed the team doing some gentle cycling and laughing while one of the fitness coaches ran up the hill. It all felt a bit leisurely. I'm not going to judge it on a video. They're not going to show us everything in a pre-season video. Let's be honest. They only show us like the funny moments. That's what pre-season, those types of videos are all about. But what we do know is what they didn't record was clearly not good enough because they weren't fit for the start of the season. With Asgard and other players we only recently signed who are talking of going, offer them to wait until January to see if we are in the promotion race, then see if they still want to go. Well, with the players we signed recently, I just can't see any of them going, if I'm being honest with you, unless it's serious money. We need to wait and see what happens. When January comes about, hopefully we'll be in a good position. But then, if they're smashing it out of the park, then they might leave in January. Like Asgard, for me, he can tour League One a new one if he stays. And he could be on like 20 goal contributions by January, and then he might get a better move. That's how these players have got to look at it. If you don't get your move, don't sulk about it. Produce and do unbelievable numbers in the league, and then earn your move a different way. You get given moves. Clubs will look at you and go, wow, this player's good. We need to bring him into the football club. So I'd rather players just do it like that. Earn your move the correct way, like how James Justin and Jack Stacey did it. They helped us win back-to-back promotions. Did unreal. They had interest throughout their times at Luton. Then got their moves the right way. Other than Middlesbrough, is there any other teams you want to keep an eye out on? I like to keep an eye on. I think I'm going to keep an eye on the teams that are, going to be competing with Luton for League One for promotion. So the likes of, I actually think there's 6 clubs. 5 clubs. So I think it's going to be Bolton. I think it's going to be Plymouth, Huddersfield, Reading, Stockport. So those 5 clubs I think are going to be competing. And then the dark horses of the season, I'm going to go with Port Vale or Bradford. Bradford right now, the recruitment they've done is very good. I don't see the likes of Barnsley getting into the playoff positions. I think their recruitment's not been good enough yet. I love Elijah Adebayo as a player. His pace, strength and positioning is perfect, but the only major weakness of him is his morale, which is not ideal. But I believe if he is a more confident player, he would be it would be nice. Adebayo, look, biggest confidence player going. And I will always say that. If he's firing and he's scoring goals and he gets one week and he carries on getting more and more goals, then he would be top goal scorer, because he would just hopefully take that throughout the season and he'll go on this massive goal, running form. But it's getting in that confidence. Would you like to see the likes of JJ and Zach Nelson get loan moves, at least for the first half of the season? At this stage, they need experience, and it'd be a waste for them not to get game time. I would wait until after the first half of the season, because we're in the cup competitions a lot sooner. There's more games in the first half of the season compared to the second half. So if they're not playing in the first half, then when the January window comes about, then we send them out on loan. That's what I would do. I think that is the better option, rather than loan them out straight away. Ethan Galbraith has had some bids rejected from Huddersfield and QPR, so this would be the time to strike for him. I think we can afford Ethan Galbraith. I think the money which Leyton Orient want for him is doable for us. We can do it, but it's whether or not we're willing to put that amount of money on the table. He's an unbelievable footballer. He is so good. For League One, he's unbelievable. So I would love to bring him. Hi Lewis, hope you're okay. Would you take Paul Mullin? No, I would not take Paul Mullin. His goal record in League One isn't the greatest. I think he's actually going to Wigan on a loan deal from Wrexham. But yeah, I think if we were League Two, then potentially. But no, not for League One, not for next season. I'd rather give Nordas a proper go, as we still don't really know what he's all about. We're now approaching the end of the live stream, guys. Last 5 minutes here of me answering any of your questions before I head off. And have a busy day. I'm going to go to the gym. I'll try my best to get a YouTube video out, but I can't make any promises. But yeah, just have a nice chilled Sunday. How much cash does the club have to spend? I honestly do not know the answer to that, but I know we've got money. We're financially well looked after, So yeah, I believe we've got some. If we want to bring in players through the door with cash, we can do it. Favourite Morris goal for me, it's the West Brom at home when we lost 3-2, unfortunately. I can't remember that goal, if I'm being honest with you. My favourite Colton Morris goal, probably the one. I did like the one against Watford, where he left his marker free unmarked at the back post. I did like his goal against Derby from last season. That was a good goal. I can't really remember. There's nothing that actually kind of like is screaming out in my head, because his goals were just like typical striker goals. Doughty going to Middlesbrough because of Rob Edwards. Apparently, I don't see him going to Middlesbrough. I don't see Middlesbrough spending more than £5 million on him. I might be completely wrong. They might have the money, but I just don't see them doing it. I hope we also bring in this. I made a video this week on him, Owen Dodson. He is a left back for Burnley. We need a left back, so hopefully we can bring him to the football club. He had a very good loan spell at Burton recently, so I wouldn't mind bringing him in. Very attacking left back, really good at the defensive side of the game. But I reckon next week, guys, we're going to see a lot of movement. Thursday, this upcoming Thursday is the upcoming football fixtures for the League One season. So what game do you want Luton to play on the opening day of the season? Let me know which team you want Luton to play on the opening day of the season. I kind of want a long distance one, get it over and done with, whether that's Blackpool or Plymouth. Get it over and done with, and then we don't have to play them on a Tuesday night, which is horrible. So let me know what teams you want. George, you want Bolton away first. That would be a big away end. So that would be quite good for the opening day of the season. I'm looking forward to the short away days trips like the Stevenage, Wimbledon, Leyton Orient, Wickham. Let's hope we see a lot more news next week. I really think we will. Blackpool away first. It'd be nice to play Blackpool in the summer. Hopefully not Exeter away. Stevenage away on a Tuesday night. Most likely it will be. There were some games on a Thursday last season in League One. I hope we're not that. I really do not want to be on a Thursday night. That'd just be grim. But yeah, let me know which team you want us to play. Friday night game under the lights. I think we'll have less Friday night games, if I'm being honest with you. Charlton versus Middlesbrough will be a good game. Yeah, I'd be really interested to be watching that. Nathan Jones versus Rob Edwards. And it'd be funny if Nathan Jones beats Rob Edwards, because I think Nathan Jones is a better manager than him. But yeah, a couple more questions, guys, then I will be ending the live stream. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in throughout this last hour. It has been much appreciated. Please smash the like button on the live stream if you haven't done already. It does help the live stream perform better. Yeah, and the video, this whole live stream, if you missed any of it, it will be available to watch afterwards as one long video. Yeah, so if you missed certain bits, you can rewatch the video. What's your perfect ideal striker? Owen Dale, who plays for Nottingham Forest, who went out on loan to Wigan last season. I want him to come to the football club. He got like 19 goal contributions last year for Wigan. He scored over 10 goals. He got loads of assists. He can do. He's pretty much. He ticks a lot of boxes. Good at dribbling, finishing. He's good in the air. I really like him. So for me, Owen Dale, who we can get on a permanent deal. Well, I think we could get on a permanent deal, if not a loan deal, from Nottingham Forest. He would be my ideal one. I would like Richard Kone because of his age, but I can't see us getting him. I think he's going to go elsewhere. He might go abroad. There's a lot of interest there. Wickham might have regretted not actually accepting the money which we offered them, because we offered them an awful lot of money. I can't see them getting the exact same amount back. But yeah. Thank you, everyone, anyway. I might as well end the live stream here. Actually, it's perfect time to end it. Thank you all for watching this last hour. Much appreciated. Don't forget to like the video, the live stream, as I've already said. And yeah, hopefully you all have a good weekend. Well, good Sunday. And yeah, fingers crossed next week we'll have lots to talk about. Next Sunday's live stream will not be at 11 a.m. I'm going to have to change the time on the live stream. I'm having a weekend in Nottingham with my mates, so I won't be available in the morning. I might have to change the time to the afternoon or in the evening. But yeah, I will be live streaming next Sunday, as always, hopefully. And yeah, I'll see you guys then. There'll be plenty of videos out next week. Hopefully we get some more news. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.